What's up guys, Jessica Byers here with Followherarrow. I have not done a gear review in a long time, and after many requests, I'm going to do a review of this bad boy. I'll go over a little bit of everything, but I'm going to start with the pros. First and foremost, a lot of times when you're stalking on your hands and knees, it braces your bow where it's resting on your limb, and then the tip of it is at the perfect angle where your broadhead never goes into the ground, which may seem kind of insignificant, but I can't tell you how many times my broadhead has gotten caught on stuff or dug into the ground and it's covered with mud, and then you're trying to deal with that before your perfect opportunity on an animal. It has proven to help me tremendously getting up steep mountains. I can actually put all my weight onto this Quivalizer, and it helps me push up when I'm climbing mountains and just kind of take a break when I just need to lean over and catch my breath. A few of the obvious factors are you'll see me carrying my bow on my shoulders a lot. If I'm not using a bow snatcher when I'm crawling into my stand or making long hikes, sometimes I don't want to put my bow on my pack, and so I'll just carry it on my shoulders. Some people think that it's just to look cool, and maybe it does look cool, but there's actually functionality to it. The other thing is you're combining the weight of a quiver and a stabilizer into one. Now, that might not be true for every situation if you have really light equipment. For me, it decreased my overall weight in my bow setup. There's a misconception that the only way to mount this quiver is to have it out in front to act as a stabilizer. Several people carry theirs vertically, like your standard quiver. There's a bracket that mounts to your sight and allows you to put it in a vertical position. So, I mean, that's always an option too. And then you don't have a stabilizer on your bow. Some of the feedback I've seen with people that use the Quivalizers are that the wind catches it when it's full of arrows, that makes it hard to shoot. So you have that ability to switch it, put it vertical. I also do this whenever I have my bow on my bow snatcher on my pack. I keep it vertical because otherwise you have your Quivalizer sticking out and possibly catching on to brush around you. However, when it is out in front and being used as a stabilizer, it's nice to keep my broadheads away from my strings. I'm always worried about just in a rush trying to get an arrow out of my quiver and knock it. I worry about punching that string in the process. I've heard of people doing this in the backcountry and then not having a weapon, and it hasn't happened to me yet, but I imagine that I'm a lot better off having it in this stabilizer position versus the vertical position for that exact reason. Another obvious pro is that it's a pretty long stabilizer. I've never been a target archer, but there's a reason that those guys have those extremely long stabilizers to help with accuracy. I had my very first Robin Hood right after I switched from being right-handed to left-handed, as well as putting a Quivalizer on. There's always the chance that it's coincidence, but I switched to shooting with my dominant eye, and I put a Quivalizer on. I got my first Robin Hood within like a month, which is pretty cool. Okay, now for the cons, because typically with gear reviews, that's what people are looking for. What do you not like about it? Truthfully, the only issue I've had is that occasionally when I am using it as a trekking pole in the mountains and I'm putting a lot of weight on it over and over again, sometimes it will loosen the bolt that attaches it to my riser. And so I have to get my tools back out and just tighten it down really tight. That's all. That's the only con that I have, and it's not enough for me not to want to use it. If nothing else, I just don't put as much weight on it. I wouldn't still be using it if I didn't love it. If I had to make a recommendation, which I have told them something that I would love to see is to put a rubber grip on the end of this hood, because of how often I was using it in the mountains. Sometimes I'd hit a rock, and as I'm trying to put my weight into it, it slides off the rock and then I lose my balance. It had I would call it like a rubber foot. That would be like the cherry on top. Overall, guys, I'm super happy with the product. I absolutely love it, and I appreciate you asking so many questions. It was just really hard to answer all the questions because I'm literally getting them daily. So I hope this video helps. If you have any more questions, list them below. I will definitely get back to you and help in any way that I can. Happy hunting, and thank you for watching.